So this is my third of the day. I haven't had a threes up since that time that I met your mother at that club and I... Yeah. And then I flipped her over for seconds. Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. 3 in 1, eh? Ladies. So, Bethesda. Fallout 76. Since it released, it has just been a non-stop controversial source of buggery, I suppose, is the only way that you can put it, for both the company and the game. And I did a video a little bit ago when I said all Bethesda had to do with Fallout 76 was tell the truth. When they announced it back at E3 of last year, all they had to say was it's going to go into early access at the end of this year, November. And we want you to be part of that early access and shape the way this game develops. And that would have changed everything. Because everybody would have known where they were, where they stood. It still would have sold in its millions, or probably would have sold way more than it did in its state right now. Because they tried to palm it off as a complete and finished product. And it was anything but. If they'd only told the truth back at E3, things could be so different right now. But they wanted to cash in. I don't know if they were absolutely desperate to try and get some figures on the board for Q4 or what. I don't know what possessed them to do this. But they literally committed company sue demonetization word. That is what they committed. And so not only is the game in such a terrible state, and there's been a patch just a couple of days ago which has actually brought back a bunch of previous bugs, which I think they've now patched out again. There was also some rumours to some other bugs which had returned, which I don't believe were correct. So I'm not going to go into the specifics of the bugs, but there were some bugs which came back, which had been there previously, patched out, and then when they patched this latest patch, they came back in. So there's a lot of frustration with the people who are sticking with it. They must have the patience of a saint. There are other games that you will likely have fun. Hell, the new Subnautica game has come into early access, and it's claiming to be early access, and it's £15. And it's likely going to be 10 times better. So go do that. Go buy that on Steam and go play the new Subnautica. Frozen Zero or something. I don't know what it is. Something like that. So anyway, this company right here, Migliaccio and Rathod LLP, they started to investigate Bethesda under the Deceptive Trade Practices. And this first piece here is from November, end of November 2018. And they're saying that they're investigating Bethesda Studios for releasing a heavily glitched game, Fallout 76, and refusing to issue refunds for PC purchasers. Now, when they update, they go on into the nylon bag situation. But I don't think they're going to get anywhere with that now that Blizzard have said, we will fulfill our obligation to provide canvas bags. And they have gone about that. However, this kind of goes into a little bit more detail later on. So we haven't heard anything for about 2 months, month and a half or so. Well, 2 months. And then they contacted me a couple of days ago and they said, hey, we've got a further update as regards to this lawsuit. Here it is. Here's the link. Check it out. And, if you want to get back in contact with us with any questions or queries, please feel free to do so. So, forgive the cringe. They're an LLP, but they're calling this Armageddon. Because of arbitration. So they're calling it Armageddon. God bless. Just stick to being a law firm. Leave the puns to us. We're the ones who get the groans. Okay, so this update came a couple of days back, 28th of January. In recent years, a slim majority of the United States Supreme Court has permitted corporations to deprive customers of their day in court, especially with respect to class action claims. Now, it goes on into arbitration clauses here, and you know, the vast majority of us are not legal minded, so to kind of go through this, we might get lost in some of it. So what I want to do is just push it on further, because what they stress is that they believe that Bethesda think they have themselves covered because you have to arbitrarily tick agreement to play the game. And whatever they place in that agreement, you have to abide by. And if you don't agree, you don't get to play the game. Apple do it. A lot of other companies do it. I mean, for all we know, there's that episode in South Park, of course. You know, for all we know, in this document, it says we can come round once every year and top your wife. I don't want Apple topping my wife. I don't even have a wife. I don't want them topping me. You know, you don't know what's going to be in there. So if you want to get past and just get into the game, you got to click these things. And they believe there is some legal recourse here. They believe that it's not as solid as Bethesda may think. So if I go to the final paragraph, which they put here, Bethesda probably thought it could refuse to refund its customers because use of the multiplayer game requires players to click through an arbitration agreement. So most players, except for potentially those in California, which have a different rule set apparently, cannot take the company to court in a class action. We are undeterred and prepared to pursue individual cases in arbitration, along with a class action for California users, if Bethesda does not make things right. We recently sent hundreds of individual demand letters to them. The photo above is a box full of demands that we sent. Under the terms of the arbitration clause, they now have 26 days to respond and try and resolve the claims informally. If they do not do so, we will pursue hundreds of arbitrations and the full weight of... I'm just going to whisper it. Armageddon will be upon them. Can we just say the law, please? Right. Now, if I just scooch this across a little bit. This is the box with the letters. Now, I did ask them, is there any chance that I could get a copy of this to see what it actually says and we can get the lettering of it? They said because each is specific to an individual, the only way, unfortunately, that I'd be able to get my hands on one of these is if I decided to pursue a class action lawsuit against Bethesda. I didn't buy the bloody game. No. I pre-ordered the game. I got access to the beta. I put my 10, 15 hours in during that period of time. That was enough. Done. Thank you. No thank you. Got other things to do with my time. Like recently, of course, play the incredibly cool Resident Evil 2 remake. Another game that you should check out if you haven't. So, we now have a ticking clock. A ticking clock to approximately, February the 22nd, around there. Something like that. And if Bethesda have not got back on these demands, because that's what they are, on these demands to issue refunds, then we could see something quite embarrassing. And this also might be why we've heard nothing from the incredibly brave Pete Hines and Todd Howard, because they've gone awfully quiet since the release of Fallout 76. And now it could just be for legal reasons. They just don't want to say anything that could be used against them, bearing in mind the absolute dumpster fire that is going on with Bethesda and the Fallout 76 situation. It literally just jumped from one mess to another mess to another mess. So as much as I kind of like rib them for being cowards, maybe, and they are, I mean, ultimately they are, but maybe they're just like, you know, for legal recourse reasons, we're just keeping our mouths stum about this whole situation. So, come back again, folks. End of February, I'll do a follow-up video. I have asked them to get in contact with me when the timer runs out to see what the situation is going to be. And are we going to see people, hundreds of them, getting their day in court against Bethesda? Oi chihuahua. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.